Welcome back, Student of the Game podcast. I'm your host, Tavares. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. All right. So, our second round matchups of the playoffs. All right, it's all set. All right. After the Clippers, they defeated the Dallas Mavericks. Wow, I was getting ready to say Denver Nuggets. All right, so the Dallas Mavericks, they are officially out of the playoffs. They had a nice run. Let's get a hand clap. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. All right, maybe next year. Maybe not. I don't know. But let's go into Game 2 of tonight's matchup. We have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets. Now the Nets, they look very, very impressive. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that the Nets wasn't going to be impressive. But the thing about it is, man, to be able to play that good without James Harden, man, and I hope James Harden is able to play in Game 3 at least. I know that he's not going to be playing in Game 2. But I have the Brooklyn Nets winning this series, okay? I stand by my pick. I did an episode where I said, hey, it's going to be Nets versus Lakers in the finals. But in that episode, I said, if it's not the Lakers, it's going to be the Clippers. So the Clippers, they are in round 2. So far, I'm still right technically on my prediction, just not my initial one. All right. But anyways, I still think the Nets are going to make it to the finals. I think the Nets are going to win in 6 games because I feel like the Brooklyn Nets, even without James Harden, I mean, how do you stop Kevin Durant? You can't stop Kevin Durant. Unless Giannis himself is going to guard Kevin Durant up and down the floor, which I don't think he's going to. Like, Durant is going to kill you and eat you up with that elbow jumper. The mid-range game is on point. Oh, and you dare him to extend it back to the three-point range? Boom. Blake Griffin, 18 points, 14 rebounds. That was very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. And then the thing about it is, his impact was a lot bigger than 18 points and 14 rebounds because he was all over the place. His hustling, setting screens. Setting screens is important, people. Okay? Because number one, when you set a screen, hey, you're letting the guard who's guarding you're letting the defender who's guarding your point guard or shooting guard know that, hey man, listen, you better be aware of me when I set my screens. My presence is going to be felt, okay, physically. All right. So I enjoyed that. Blake Griffin had a real good game fundamentally in 18 points, 14 rebounds, and Kyrie Irving, of course, did his thing. Giannis played big, but it was only so much Giannis can do. You can't have Chris Middleton going for what? What did he go like? 5 for 19? Was it 5 for 23? 23 shots, 13 points. You got to do better, Chris Middleton, if you want your team to have a chance at winning. But I get it, Chris Middleton, he's playing defense. He's guarding Kyrie Irving. He's guarding Kevin Durant. But here's the thing. Imagine if James Harden was out there. You would have to guard him. So would you have less points, Chris Middleton? I don't know. So hopefully Chris Middleton will have a better game, all right? But I don't think they're going to sweep the Bucks. The Bucks are a real good team. If it goes into 7 games, I would not be surprised. But within doubt, I'm still sticking with the Brooklyn Nets. I was going to say New Jersey Nets. All right. So let's see. Another game. Let me see. We had another game. We had a game 1 yesterday. We had the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Atlanta Hawks. Wow. I wasn't expecting the Hawks to win game 1, especially the way they played throughout the majority part of the game. Now, shout out to the Sixers. They came back. They gave a very valiant effort, but guess what? You still took a loss. All right, you cannot take that L on your home court, not in game 1. You have to establish your dominance, okay? Joel Embiid, he had a real big game. Had over 34, 35 points going up against Capella and John Collins. Big time game for Joel Embiid. But the Sixers, they're going to have to step up. They're going to have to step up. I don't know what kind of adjustments Doc Rivers is going to make, but guess what? Trae Young is the truth. All right, if you're from H-Town, you are highly aware of hip-hop star Trae the Truth. All right, well, Trae Young is the truth also. Trae Young is the truth. This guy, like, to me, he was, and it's crazy there in Philly, he reminded me of a Allen Iverson, really. I mean, small frame, quick, just can get by anybody, just lighten them up. Just lighten them up for real. They had no answer for him. No answer for him. So I don't know what type of adjustments that they're going to make, but they're going to have to make some necessary adjustments if they want to at least to try to minimize. You notice I said minimize because you're not going to stop Trae Young. I'm saying it now. You're not going to stop him. So what you want to do is you want to minimize him. They're going to have to figure out a way to force him to play defense. I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm pretty sure Doc Rivers got something up under his sleeves. He is a championship coach, people. But I tell you what, in this series, I'm still not trusting Joel Embiid's health. I'm still not. He's just going to have to prove me wrong. I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks in 7 games in this series. I can see it going to 7. Hawks might win in 6, but Philly is a real strong squad. They're a strong squad, people. But I got the Hawks in 7 on this one. All right. Tonight's matchup, we have 2 matchups. We have game 2 of Bucks versus Nets. And we have Suns versus, well, I'm getting ready to say Suns versus Lakers. Suns versus the Denver Nuggets. Now, in the Denver Nuggets matchup, and man, if Jamal Murray was playing, no doubt, I'm rolling with the Denver Nuggets. No doubt. Okay? I will be rolling with the Nuggets in maybe 6 games. Okay? Because that's going to that would have forced, like, really Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Man, that would force their hand big time on the defensive side of the ball. Well, that will force Jamal Murray on defense also. Each team, each all-star guard is going to be exerting a lot of energy against one another. But, man, I think I'm rolling with the Denver Nuggets on this series. I'm going to tell you why. All right. Well, number one, I think in order for the Phoenix Suns to win, they're going to have to feed DeAndre Ayton more. And see, that's the thing, with most of today's guards, they don't like to come down the court and do the simple entry low post pass to the big man. All right. You got to be able to do that. Most of the guards, they want to be able to penetrate and give it to the big man to where he just catches the ball and dunk it or lay it up. That's fine. That is fine. But in order for you to draw fouls and cause Jokic to exert energy on defense, you gotta feed DeAndre Ayton in the post. And I'm not saying feed him the ball every time you get down court, but you gotta force Jokic to play defense. Okay? And you have the big man to do it. Now, Ayton is averaging 15 and 10. Shooting field goal percentage is like 77 right now in the playoffs, which is awesome. And it's even awesome the fact that he doesn't get a lot of touches. Well, he needs to get more touches. This is going to be about him. I mean, if he does not, I'm not saying he's not going to score point for point on Jokic because Jokic is the number 1 option and Ayton is the number 3 option in Phoenix lineup. But I tell you what, okay, you're going to have to include him more in the offense. I mean, he sets great screens, real good pick and roll player. You're going to have to allow this man to post up. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a very highly skilled big man. Only 22 years old. That's not a lot of bigs even care to be in the post. This guy here, 7'6" wingspan. Let him do what he do against Jokic, okay? Force Jokic to play defense, all right? You're not going to foul Jokic out, but you got to cause him to exert energy on defense so that way you're not getting a fully energized Jokic on offense. Just like the way the Clippers finally started to do with Luka Doncic, where past 2 games, Kawhi came down court, he sought out Luka. He said, hey, I'm going to force you to play defense, all right? Exert energy on offense. And if you notice, in the 4th quarter, each game, guess what? His numbers are down. You know why? Because he got tired. Not just because on offense, because at first he was resting on defense. But they sought him out. They say, hey, you come here. You call me out. It's your turn to guard me. Get over here now, Luka. Get over here now. All right? So, hey, man. But, I think Chris Paul is going to do his thing, but Chris Paul is going to have to maintain his health. I don't trust his health. And another thing with Phoenix, man, they just beat the Lakers. They just beat the NBA champions, the defending champions. It takes a lot of energy to defeat an NBA champion. I don't care how many players got hurt. Suns did their thing. I think game 1 is going to be more of a letdown game because I think they're still up on that high on that. And you saw how I get it. You're celebrating, you're getting out the first round, but come on, man. Like, for a player like Chris Paul to say, all right, yeah, y'all, 10 years ago, me and Coach, we lost to this same team and all that. Listen, that was not the same team. Okay, because 10 years ago, the team you lost to a healthy Kobe Bryant, Lamar Odom, Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum. Was Ron Artest on that team that year? I think so. Okay. You went up against a Laker team where they wasn't all the way healthy, a lot older LeBron James. You still do get mad props for defeating them. But let's not pretend and celebrate this as if you're advancing to the NBA Finals. You're advancing to the second round of the playoffs. CP3, you've been there before. I could see if Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton said that, but listen, Jay Crowder been there before. CP3, he been to the second round before. Okay? So this is a whole new ball game. Y'all going up against Jokic, who, like, a lot of people still think Chris Paul is the MVP despite the phenomenal season that Jokic has consistently been having this year. So Jokic, he's the shark out for blood. You know, if I'm Jokic, I'm thinking, and if I'm the Denver Nuggets, period, I'm thinking, y'all think that just because y'all knocked the Lakers off, it's going to get easy. No, nuh-uh. So I'm rolling with the Denver Nuggets on this one, okay? I think they're going to win this series in 7. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it in 6, okay? Game 2 for the Bucks and Nets. James Harden's not playing. I can't see the Bucks losing 2 games in a row. They're a very, very, very good team. I can't see them losing 2 games in a row this early. But I would not be surprised if the Nets maintain and win that game. All right, so it's going to be a close one. But either way it goes, I still have the Nets in 6. All right, and we got another second round matchup tomorrow where we have the Clippers. Game 1 of the Clippers versus the Jazz. Man, I tell you what, I'm rolling with the Clippers. I'm rolling with the Clippers on this one. It's not because I despise Utah as a Houston Rockets fan. No, I like Utah. I think they have a very, very good, talented team. Another thing Utah, they're riddled with injuries in their backcourt. I know Donovan Mitchell is back, but hopefully he doesn't have any lingering residuals from his ankle. I think it's the right ankle or the left ankle. It could be one of the two, one of them. But also Mike Conley, hamstring. So is Conley going to be playing? And if he's playing, how healthy is he going to be? Okay. But I like what the Clippers bring to the table. I like what they bring to the table. Like, they finally gelled, okay? Like, Kawhi said, you know what? Forget this, man. I'm coming out my shell, and I'm about to do the thing. Give me the rock. Put this on me. All right? So, on this series here, I have the Clips in 6. Clippers in 6 games, all right, against the Utah Jazz. If Mike Conley is unable to play, I got the Clippers in 5 games, all right? But either way it go, at least Clippers at the most, Clippers in 6. The Clippers will go on to the Western Conference Finals. Because you know why? The Clippers can't lose, because then my prediction of Nets versus Clippers will not come true. All right? All right, so that's who I have on my matchups. Tell me, do you agree with my matchups or do you disagree, okay, with any of them? Let me know. Share your thoughts and comments below on who do you think is going to make it to the finals or who's going to win the current second round series that's going on. Once again, I have Nets beating the Bucks and moving on. I have the Hawks beating the 76ers and moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And in the West, that Wild West, I have the Nuggets beating the Suns, moving on to the Western Conference Finals. And I have the Clippers defeating the Clippers playing? The Utah Jazz and moving on to the Western Conference Finals. All right. Share your thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And hey, if you agree, tell me why. If you disagree, also tell me why. Share your thoughts. I'm open to hearing. Please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It's free of charge, so that way when I have any other videos, it come directly to you. Thank you for listening. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace out.